All right, let's go to your calls at 877-590-5525. Then I'm going to get into, hey, let's just not give health care to the old people. That's what our governments are saying. That's what the global government plans for you and your family. You know, they call you slaves in their own handbooks, their own PhD-level papers on how to control populations. I'm not their slave. You shouldn't be their slave. I'm just letting you know what they call you to get you thinking and to stop being a slave, stop acting like a slave. Let's go to Blake in Beaumont, Texas. You're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good.
All right, I'm an education major at Lamar University here in Beaumont, and I have some very almost emergency-like information. The children...
I saw your YouTube videos. You got a beard, right?
I do.
And you've done like 8 or 9 of them where you go through the actual textbook saying your family isn't your family, the global government is your family. And
right, and they use terms like interdependence, which was first coined by Marx in the 1848 Communist Manifesto.
Yeah, go ahead. You've got the floor. For folks in South Texas, Southeast Texas, I mean, it's everywhere. It's all the same. But just go ahead and tell them what's in your textbooks.
All right, so this is directly off the Junior Achievement website, ja.org, and this is the curricula for the first grader that they're forcing college students to teach. For example, your family. You know, I was taught in school that your family was your mom, your dad, you know, aunts, uncles, grandparents.
And it says the global economic community, yes.
Yeah, it says, you know, it emphasizes the role people play in local economies and engage students about interdependence, wants and tools and the concepts. See, these are just ideas. The concepts behind them is what it's, you know, the idea is just the vehicle for the concept. And the concept behind family is business, economic institutions, income.
Yeah, it tells you that family is not your family, yeah.
Exactly. And on their website, I also found just a shocking discovery. I was just looking at some of the people they honor. They use examples of what, you know, what it is to be successful. And on their 2007 laureate bios, Vernon Jordan, it actually says he's a member of the Bilderberg meetings. This is on their website. Most media, you know, don't even...
Yeah, let me explain what's happening for those who just joined us. The government will say there's no chemical spraying out of government aircraft on the population, even though it's declassified. They know you don't know how to look into that. They will then put it in children's textbooks, government approved, that they are spraying us for our own good. They will then admit there's a world government. It says your parents aren't cool. This is in my film, The Takeover. Your parents aren't cool. They don't understand how cool it is to have chips put in your body. They also tell the kids how to tattle on their parents right here in Austin. They give them $200 discount credit cards to do it. They enroll them in little spy agencies. And so they won't tell the adults all this is going on, but they admit the global government, Bilderberg Group runs everything, but they love you. It's why they do it. And so, yes. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Lamar University is where Eric Pianka, the eugenicist at UT...
the guy that says he can't wait for 90% of us to die and how great it's going to be. That guy. He says we need a global police state to enforce it. Exact quote of that guy, sure. Mm-hmm. He's in Endgame, by the way.
I go to, and they, you know, they gave him a standing ovation. This is the school I go to, and also...
Yeah, but a lot of the listeners out there aren't going to go read and find out that sodium fluoride was put in the water to reduce their IQ and poison them. They're not going to find out there's an official global government plan to kill us after the global government set up, and they don't care what curriculum is. They don't care if they're making Spanish first language in Texas, forcing it in the program. They don't care. They like being slaves, and don't worry, you will be.
One last thing. Here's the sad thing about it. This is a requirement of all education majors, and I got out of it. I presented my facts to the education people there and said I wasn't going to do this. But the education people, the students, are being forced to go and teach this. And if they don't teach this, they're going to give them an essay.
Sir, that's nothing. Already in the U.S. and England, they're telling teachers they can't say mom and dad because that will hurt children that have gay or lesbian parents. I appreciate your call. Good job, sir, with the work you've done. I've seen your research. It's par for the course, everything else I've seen. But he shows documents in the textbooks on screen and blows it up for you. Good job. And you notice I saw Beaumont put it together when he said it. That's how much research I do. See, when you find out they're killing you, you can't stop researching. My mind is just burning with knowledge and info and documents. But imagine how much easier it is just for the general public. They just tune in and say none of it's true. Okay, fine. Sodium fluoride's good for you. It doesn't matter if it's the main ingredient in rat poison. Just guzzle it. Guzzle it with pleasure. Okay, let's go ahead and take another call. Don't listen to me. You've got it all figured out. You know how everything works. Let's talk to Dawn in North Carolina. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. You are brilliant.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Listen,
I just would have been really brilliant, but I'm just average. The fluoride only, knocked me down from 160 to 140.
The second is about the debate. You know, we've been force-fed this idea that Hillary Rodham Clinton is the smartest woman in the world.
Well, she is a good CIA operative. She is very.
The Washington, D.C. bar exam.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and say what you said. She is a good operative for the CIA, though. But
no, I said Dick Morris has reported that Hillary, the smartest woman in the world, actually flunked the D.C. bar exam.
Well, Hitler flunked a lot of tests, too.
I know, but still.
I mean, she's smart at being cunning and vicious.
She should have soared through it with flying colors. Second of all.
Are you a liberal? Because it's liberal now. Ann Coulter's endorsed her for president. Are you a liberal? You don't like Hillary?
Oh.
I've had enough of these liberals. They're against gun control and open borders.
But the second thing is, it may be unconstitutional for a woman to be president. It specifically talks about he shall hold his office. Okay, I just want to throw that out. But the second thing is, I'm really upset about the way Ron Paul was treated in the Republican debate.
Oh, you mean cheated, given less than one-third of the time as usual?
I don't think we can just hold Anderson Cooper and his cohorts responsible. If Ron
let me stop you. Anderson Cooper, stop, ma'am. Stop, ma'am, stop. You mentioned another known CIA operative. Just Google. Anderson Cooper admits he was a CIA officer.
I want to make a unique
I'm sorry.
point, though. Everybody talks about Anderson Cooper. They talk about
CIA
Ron
officer.
Paul not standing up for himself. But does anybody ever
CIA
think
officer.
about the fact that Romney, McCain sit there smirking, and Huckabee, nobody comes to Ron Paul's defense. When they jumped over Ron Paul, why didn't one of those people who sat there talking about fairness and talking about the little guy, why didn't somebody say, just wait a minute?
No, I agree with you, ma'am, and I'm sorry to be jumping in over you. But Anderson Cooper is another CIA operative in the media. And, I mean, that's admitted. We, by the way, exposed that first, then he had to admit it. Most of them are CIA at that level, or Defense Intelligence or one of the other agencies. And they just sit up there for the government and they read a script. Now, Ron Paul in every debate has been given a third or less of the time and a third or less of the questions on average given to the other candidates. And he was cheated. He won first place in Louisiana, and they reported second place national news. He won second place in Nevada. They lied and said that he didn't win any place. And they steal everywhere, and it's totally staged, and the CIA runs the big 5 voting machine companies. In the past, you had to have the ballot box in the middle. People came in and voted. Everybody watched it. The precinct counted it in front of witnesses. Now they say it's secret. You can't look of it. And magically, the polls aren't accurate anymore because it's all staged. You say, well, Alex, then why are you still for voting? Because we're going to prove it's a fraud. We helped finance the recount in New Hampshire, and Bev Harris, who produced the HBO documentary Hacking Democracy, has gone public saying it's, quote, a criminal enterprise and was staged. See, and now 85% of Americans in major polls know the elections are staged. We're going to go on doing that. We can't just let them steal the election and not engage them or expose them. Oh, thank you very much for the call. I'm saying you got to have food, have water. The government does that. They build bunkers. The elite, the rich all have it. They're all leaving the country. But they tell you it's kooky if you have more than a day of food and just worship black ski masks, worship inoculations, worship fluoride, worship government. Anything else?
I guess that's it for now. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And don't listen to me, folks. I can just quote legislation bills, the Bill of Rights. I just study this stuff 15, 16 hours a day. Oh, don't listen to me. Listen to all the yuppies who told you not to buy gold when it was $300 an ounce and it's now $930. Don't listen to me. We'll be right back.